Good evening. Hey, Faith Walker. Good to see you here. Um, Give me just a second and I'll start with the announcements and we'll begin. And we will begin in just a second here. Hmm. All right. And tonight, we was also going to have Damon come on a little bit later and give us an update on some things that we asked him to keep an eye out on some missing people. Um, Malcolm was also going to give an update, but he's on the road tonight. Um, well, let's just say that he can't make it tonight. Um, but the announcements, I'm gonna go ahead and do those first. Um, Sorry, it's a new system. I'm turned around now. But on Facebook, I have two group pages. That's the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, in parentheses, antlers and surrounding areas. Also, I have the Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMB, and Son Center and Database. Those are two group pages that I'll be streaming mostly to the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch page, but if I'm allowed, I'll be on both. Um, Also, I'm on still on Facebook jail for about 16, 17 more days. But go ahead and get on that page. I can still add you. And whenever we start streaming back to Facebook, you'll also get those updates if you miss them here. The museum in Tallahena, Oklahoma, that's opening up this month, Chute Ranch Project. It's a Bigfoot experience or a Bigfoot experience. I won't get anything extra. 202nd Street. That's in Tallahena, Oklahoma. That's right in the center of Tallahena, where 71 goes out towards the uh, where 271 goes out towards the football field. There's the second building on the right, or just right there. The first one facing that street, I guess you would say. The good people, and they've been keeping up also. So if you're ever in Tallahena, Oklahoma, go to the Chute Ranch Project, a Bigfoot Experience Museum. We will have some items there ourselves of things that we've um, found for other people because we know that they're real. So these things are just for other people. It's not for us. But we can show you some things that we found. Um, got a call today from Colorado, and Oregon about tracking up in those areas. So we'll run this by the team and see what we may be able to do, might not be able to do, or who can go and who can't go if we decide to do that. But if not, we'll have them here um, so that we can show them in a kind of like a controlled area. Um, all the things that they need to see. I guess um, that's for their benefit, so that they see these things for real and everything, and we can provide that. We're still waiting on an outing to track in another area. That's here in Oklahoma, and that's also with Faith Walker. You're on call for that also. So whenever we get word, I don't think it'll be this weekend, but next weekend or next week for sure. We want to do this pretty quick, and then we may have people from the Colorado coming in. So we want to. Well, I mean, we could all do it together if it falls together, but if it don't, then we still need to go and do this tracking and look in these areas and see what we can find for the people there. Um, we also need funds for vehicles and equipment. Get with Malcolm on vehicles and equipment. Get with Damon. Um, if you have any funds for night vision or even if you got a vehicle that you may be in the area that we could borrow, strong and sturdy like a truck, or a heavy duty blazer or something like that. Something that's going to run good and quiet. You know, because we need to get into places and get out. We're not going up there to hoop and holler. Things like that. We got things that we have to do. And when people come in, if that's whenever we're going to do it, then they get to go with us and see what we do out in the field, and we get to spend time with them before we go out and explain what we're doing, how we're going to do it, how we're going to work together. And like we said, you don't have to bring weapons if you choose not to, but I always carry whenever I go out because I do know there are other things out there, and it's just not these certain things that we know about. And we also will get to that at the very end of this because Damon will be here, I believe. Hopefully, he gets the email I sent for him for the invite to be a guest so that he can explain or have the updates on a missing persons case that we got word of about 2 days ago. Um, Faith Walker is clapping hands. Ladybug says, hello, I'm here now. Um, Ladybug also says, what would be a good type of night vision to buy? Um, you can get a good pair from Amazon. I want to say it's only like $250. And you hold them up like this, and those are the ones we use. That's if you're, on a budget. But there are better night vision goggles, even to the military grade. But that gets into like $5,000, and those, if you get one like that, a military grade. Because I used to be in the military, but if you get a military grade like that, it's like just looking at daylight, and that's what the Bigfoots see. They see the military grade night vision. So when you think that you're trying to hide or sneak up, or now there's a difference between trying to hide and things like that, and countering to be the warrior or the hunter. There's two different that's two different separations, but they do see like military grade. They see better. Just as good they do in daylight. Just as good as the snake does. Just as good as the owl does. Just as good as a crow does, just as good as an eagle does. Um, that those are things that we need. We're looking for funds for that, and for vehicle, for gas, and for pay of our campsites when we need to go out. And also, if you're coming in, because we have asked people from this group to join us because we've been seeing that they are keeping up. They have the knowledge. So when we're out in the field, we don't have to like retrain right there. And if you are interested in going out with us on outings, even if they're just 1 or 2 day outings, we'll have a base camp. We'll go do our thing. We'll come back to base camp. We'll either depart or we'll stay there, or we may have another area to track. People have informed us that there's other places that need to be looked at, and because they've been having some disturbances, or prints have been showing up. So Ladybug says, if you are using them, do they know you can see them? When you look like you can see them, yes. And that's when they'll move. That's when they'll get aggressive. But if you watched our video from 2 nights ago with the night vision, you'll see that we'll stay here for a minute. We'll stay here for a minute. We'll stay here for a minute. Or whenever we're moving, we just scan. We would never focus in on them directly. Although I think I see Malcolm do that one time. But for them, they don't want to be seen. So when you give that impression that even though you got night vision and you're moving it around, you're not focused in on them. You're not saying, I see you. There's no reason to be a disturbance. I've got a new toy. I'm just testing it out, basically. And they know our reactions. They know from observing us that if we was to stop, that we see them. So they do know if you see them. Yes, they do know if you see them. Don't give them, you know, any idea that you see them, not unless you're well prepared and have your weapons ready. And everyone there around you is fully aware that these are Bigfoots and these are predators. If you're going to do something like that, and if you're going to do something like that, um, there's a lot of people that would help you, and a lot of other people who are going through the same situations you are. And what we've done, we've suggested that those people get with their neighbors and let them know that there's oddities around, and at least say the word Bigfoot. I don't care, you said it, or a hybrid, or something that looks like a dog man or something. Tell the truth, speak the truth, and you can't deny that. Um, Kathy says totally makes sense. Ah, thank you, Kathy. um, the next thing is there are people who would use another for information to get other people to go into the spiritual by teaching them, but also not teaching them the dangers of controlled travel or spiritual dream world travel. Remember, tonight we're talking about the mind, we're talking about dreams, the dangers that are in those dreams, how to control yourself. We went over the self yesterday, which is a test question right now. And I don't think Faith Walker can get this one because she was late yesterday for a good reason. Um, but there's Katie. Hey, Katie, how you doing? She says, "Found you, found you." Katie is a good friend that we've been conversing, and finally got to speak today. Um, and she is interested in being a part of a team to go out and observe the surroundings that we go into. And Faith Walker, she's another one. She'll be with one of the day or the weekday camps, which is a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. A good friend right now is getting that location. That is an RV park. So if they have RVs for rent, because I don't have an RV, that's something that we're going to have to either all stay in one RV, which is fine with me. RVs have a lot of room, and we don't need people scattered in a way. We need everybody in a group to stay together at all times because, if you don't shake these guys, if they keep up with you and you're going 55 and it's slow through slow areas, that some of these guys will keep up with you and they'll follow you all the way back. So we don't need people scattered out. So it should be about 5 or 6 people that I know of right now. Uh, but a friend, I think he may have one more friend who might want to go. But a lot more people are wanting to know what's going on and how to look for these things or how to protect their self and learn how to track and things like that. So uh, Kathy says taking notes, and Katie says, "Hey, good to have you, Katie, Kathy, Ladybug, Faith Walker, Malcolm, Damon. I know you're all here. I don't see Cliff yet, but I'm sure he'll be here. Rock will be here. And like we were saying, if I've only got 10 minutes, and if I don't show up in 10 minutes, the stream cuts off and you have to reboot it. But usually, if I'm not going to be here in those first 10 minutes, then I'm not going to make it because I should be able to make it within those 10 minutes. So if I'm not here, that means we either had to go in the field, we got a phone call, there may be something that happened. But I will be back, or I will post, for the next stream. Um, Katie says, "Laugh out loud." Thanks, Jerry. Good to hear from you, Katie. And Katie will also be joining us as soon as possible. And Katie, I hope it's as soon as possible, as soon as you get here, because this is good weather right now. Um, the animals are moving, so all these other things are moving, and we need to get in some places and get out. And you'll see, just by us getting in and getting out, you will have a lot of information, a lot of documentation, photos, prints, and when you get, or whenever we all get back and we blow them up, um, Damon was supposed to have a laptop for us. He didn't bring it this time, but hopefully he can bring it next time, and then we can put those SD cards in there, blow them up, and then you can see right away what was around us, what we look for, um, entryways, exit ways, and things like that. But we'll always go over those things at the camp before we go to the next camp, and we'll tell you exactly what's going to happen, what's going on, and what we're looking for, just to make sure that we're all on the same page and that you get there safely and we get back safely. And we'll go over some weapons training, tactical, team uh, stances and things. We don't expect it, but that's just to be sure we know what to do if we have to do things. Um, Katie says, perfect. She's working on it. That's great news, Katie. So, Katie, and whenever you can, you just let us know because, but as soon as you can, also, we need to get out and get these places looked at and also make that extraction thing. Um, Now, in this spirituality, we're talking about the mind, we're talking about the energy body inside of us, we're talking about the self. And if you were here yesterday, we talked about the self. That's what we think we are, who we think we are, what other people think we are, what we kind of made ourselves to be. So we had to separate the self from the mind yesterday. And we got to do that again. We got to separate the self from the mind because the self knows everything. So it's going to contradict, it's going to wonder, it's going to think if we don't separate them. If we separate them and let our mind just absorb the information, we attain it. We have access to it. But if we let ourselves be the one paying attention, it's got reasoning. It'll go through the reasoning. It'll try to mix it, try to fix it to where it pertains to itself or yourself. Whenever we need to retrain the self with the mind by separating it. Only certain people could understand what we're talking about here. And a lot of people in this group, that's why I said we can't have these conversations with regular people because they'd be like, what are you talking about? But I do also want to show you one more thing before we get too far into this. Can somebody, well, everybody should be able to. Everybody tell me what this is, what this means. I'll give you just a little time. Tell me what this is. You know it. I know you know it. I just can't wait till somebody says it, though. You know what I mean? Somebody tell me what this is. Okay. I want to give everybody just a little bit more time and we'll come back to that. And maybe we'll have other people show up like Rock and Cliff and all those guys. But if somebody answers, I would be very happy to know that you can read, that you know what this is, what this means. Actually, in a way, yes, Faith Walker. Actually, in a way, yes. And yes, Ladybug, yes, one is a portal, yes. And yes, Faith Walker, it does pertain to the Legend of Time, but this is something specific. If I was to write this, which I did, I would be telling you something. I would be telling you what this is. And the reason why I want you to know that is because when we get to these hieroglyphs, when we get to the map of the universe, when we get to the Egyptian zodiac, you're going to see symbols like this. And there's people in this world who will they don't know what symbols are, you know, but you will know these. You will identify with these symbols. You will be reading hieroglyphs that other people cannot read. Ladybug, you are correct. Ladybug is correct. Ladybug is correct. But Faith Walker, you are correct too. And uh Kathy, you got one part of it right, but yes. So here is 0 or the beginning. Uh, sun. And this is the sun in motion. Can y'all see this? This is the sun in motion touching water. So this is the sun symbol. It is the sun symbol. So this is a +1. Now here's the moon. She's a +1 too, but she's actually a 2 because you got the +1 there. And then when the sun and the moon join, it forms the third. It forms the Vesica Pisces, is Vesica something like that. But this is the number 3 of the Fibonacci sequence. This is the Earth. This is the beginning. This is the start of the Earth being created. This is the 5 elements of life. This is the electrical system or the return throughout the body. Infinity symbol. But it's for one. It's for one right here. This is for one being. Here is the number 13. This is also the electrical symbol for movement. This is also the symbol for the baby. This is also the letter B. This is also the number 13. And you do your 2 ankles, 1 and 2. Your knees are 3 and 4. Your hips, 5 and 6. Your wrists, 7 and 8. Elbows, 9 and 10. Shoulders, 11 and 12. And 13 is the total body parts together. So that's your 13. That's the baby. That's one side of the baby being created. Now we need to create the other side because we are both sun and moon. But we're also us. We're also earth. To be us, we have to be earth. We have to be from earth. So this is 13. The next number is 21. But we also have 2 plus 1 because remember, it's number 2. That's the second being plus 1, which makes 3, which makes the baby. So this is 21, but it also means it's 21, but it also means 2 plus 1. Now this is the 3 spiritual binding connections. Now you'll also see this on the astrology part, and you'll also see this on the healing chart that I sent you. Right here is the spiritual binding. Right here is the spiritual binding. And right here is the spiritual binding. On your healing charts, if everyone has got your healing charts, you will see that this is the air sign. It goes fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Wherever you have that air, that's your spiritual binding. And this right here has to do with the neck and the shoulders area. And that's right here. That's our spiritual binding area, the neck, the head to the body. And if you look up the word atlas, you'll see that the vertebrae does not connect with the skull. So it has a spiritual binding there. Also, when you get around here, this is where your hips and your wrist are. You can't see it on this chart, but the hands, the wrists are back to the side on this circle right here. And this also is a spiritual binding area, and that's your waist and your wrist. When you put your wrist to your side, it's just above the genital area. And that is your spiritual binding from the top, the waist, but also for your wrist and hands because it's a straight line. If you line them up, you'll see your wrist line up with just above your genital area, and that's also another spiritual binding of the top to the bottom. And then here in the third one, this is where your ankles. That's another spiritual binding area. Um, so like the number 34, I'm going to use this one now. That's 34, but that's actually 33 plus 4. That's the 3 spiritual binding areas plus all 4 or all 12 essential minerals. So if you don't get all 12 of those essential minerals, your 34 becomes a 33 because each one of them is a section, and each section has 3. So you would actually be a 33 instead of a 34, and yes, that has to do with the Illuminati and keeping everybody in the dark. And as we discussed yesterday, the next step is to fully get the female side functional. So that's the number 55, and that's the symbol for 55. Yes, Ladybug says Fibonacci sequence, and Faith Walker says, "Good job, Ladybug." Yes, and I'm so glad that people can look at that and read it and know what it is. So to me, that's awesome. I'm glad that the people who's been here and kept up and did the homework and went back and watched the other streams that, when you see that, you know exactly what it is. You're like, hey, I know what that is. And that's also like whenever I was talking about walking by the TV at the time they had that Big Bang Theory, there was an actual equation that they had on the TV, and I walked past it, I went, oh, I know what that is. And people was looking at me like, what? And then later they put the answer, but the answer was wrong from the correct answer, but it was almost. Let's see. Faith Walker says, good job, Ladybug. Katie F says, can you send us these in mail so I can catch up. I I I think I can go to the feeds and write your name or write something on your name. Uh, I know I can in Messenger, but I'm on Facebook also. I know I can on Messenger, or add yourself to the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch page in parentheses, antlers and surrounding areas. And I can also, even though I can't talk to you on the group page, I can message you because I know it's you on Facebook, and then I can send them to you that way. But I always send all this to people afterwards anyway. Um, Faith Walker says, "Good Lord, how do you keep all this in your head?" Faith Walker, I know, right? Well, now we all are keeping this in our heads because we all know. And you're talking about me, but y'all read it, y'all read it. So, uh, Katie says, "Perfect, thank you." Hey, there's Malcolm. Malcolm says, "Hello, everyone. Y'all doing fantastic. Just wanted to say hi." Yep, Malcolm can't make it on tonight. Hopefully, we can hear more from him tomorrow or the day after if we can, if he gets a free night. Okay, so now we're on to number 55. So now this symbol right here is also the symbol for the queen or the moon or the flower of life. The kind of wombish area where everything's working together. But 34 and 55 is 89. So we're at 89. But remember, we're at 8 plus 9 because this is a male and a female, but it's always a plus 1. So this is actually an 8 plus 8 plus 1 for that 9 because we have to add the baby. This is the moon, and this one's the sun. So when we put 8 plus 8 plus 1 together, Josh Bradley says, "Hey Jerry, hey everyone. How you doing, Josh? Glad you're here." Um, so now we're at 8 plus 1, which is the sun's energy. This is the sun's energy. Remember, when just like this at the top right here, the sun's energy when it touches water, because it's mixing with the moon. It's mixing with the moon. So that puts us at the wave, like that. It's also called the sin wave, SIN, but it also means the sun wave or the wave of the sun when it mixes with water. So then we get, when it returns back, that's uh, the sun's wave on its return. So now we've got the sun. Now we got to add the moon. And now the plus 1, the 9, the 8 plus 1. Now we got to add the last one, which is still inside the moon, but it's actually, this is the oh, I showed you the chart yesterday. I should have left this out. But this is what we was. This is what the number 89 looks like. There's two eights, two energies of the sun and the moon, and then the one with the earth is the third or the plus one. But that's what it looks like. That's when the sun, the moon, and the earth energies all mix together. That's us. I'll get to that. And it's also called the flower of life, like we was talking about. So now, here's Earth. This is the Earth symbol again. Now remember, every one of these equinoxes and solstices are portals. Abril to open, Libra spelled backwards, Abril or Abril to open. The crab with the O for the opening, spelled backwards, is bark or barco, which is Spanish for boat, which goes into the portals, which or into the portals. And Capri, corn, Apri was it's Abril. It's a playoff name word that it means to open. So 144 is just like this. This is the one, and this is the four, and it's a door, a mirror. There's the other four. So it would be like that. And this is the solstice. This is the equinox. This is the sun side, the moon side, earth in the middle. Everything together. So the 144 of the Fibonacci sequence, that's the symbol for it. That's the portal. Those are portal times, opening, real portals. Don't go into them. There are only predators out there right now. We're at the end of those pretty much times. So this is also going to help you preparing for all that stuff. Faith Walker says, "Hey, Josh and Malcolm." Josh and Malcolm. Faith Walker says, "Hello. How are you doing?" Katie says, "Forgive me my newcomer thing, but there are no illegitimate questions, right?" Actually, Katie, this is more of a channel of just kind of me sharing information and certain knowledges that helps people for tracking or being out in the woodlines. You know, the tactics that we use, things to look for. But yeah, I do. As long as the questions are pertaining to what we're talking about right now, I have no problem with that. But it's when people even try to get other people into a different conversation in the comments. That's when I know that they're not here to learn; they're doing something else. And that's just something I ask, people just to pay attention to what we're saying, because the information that you get, and this is what we talked about yesterday about warriors, that no warrior is above another, but what makes a warrior less or more than the other warrior is the knowledge that has been accepted. So the questions are not a problem. But also, I was explaining the difference between hearing and listening is that when we're listening, we're focused on what we're talking about, what we're saying. But if we're hearing, that's when we might be on the phone or thinking how this pertains to me, or this reminds me of that time, or somebody told me this, or even typing something. That means you didn't hear that one part that I was talking about because you was somewhere else. And the same way with dream worlds. And those are things that we're getting to in just a second also. Um, oh, she said, "Oh no, I'm not trying to do that." Okay. Faith or Malcolm says, "Hey, Faith Walker, happy to have you on the team." Yes, we're very happy to have Faith Walker on the next team that's going out. And Katie, she's going to be on one of those. She says, "I right now mainly wanted to ask how this ties into Sasquatch, or does it?" Okay, sorry, I'll shut up now. um, actually, um, let's let Faith Walker answer that one. Uh, she she would have the answer to that one. And Faith Walker, if you hear me, the question is, right now mainly wanted to ask how this ties into Sasquatch, or does it? Faith Walker, are you there? We'll give her just a minute. And I don't know if you can top Malcolm. Oh, there's Faith Walker. She said, pressure, laugh out loud. The story of time leads up to how Bigfoot is created. Yes, yes. And this is the same story as the legend of time. And I'm so glad that we have some people here that, you know, oh, no, 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 it's no problem. But like Faith Walker, she's going to be on the team, and if y'all somehow make it in at the same time, y'all will be on the same team. Um, and she's been, keeping up nightly, or she'll go back and check them if she has, something to do. And this is what we're doing. We're trying to build people to be more aware, to know what we're doing while we're out there, and so that when the time's right, that people who's uh, gotten the questions right, or answered like for other people, um, that means that they're paying attention, and I can do something else. Which uh, I love answering those questions, but now I know that there's other people who know the answers, and that's something too, because we want everybody to be those experts. So when you go to another channel or something like that, and you see what they're doing, you know they don't know, and you also know that that's dangerous when people don't know all this stuff. Um, but I'm glad Faith Walker was able to answer that. Malcolm, if you're on here, I think he's coming in and out, but great job, Faith Walker. Ladybug says, good job, Faith Walker. Wow, good job, good answer, perfect. Yes, this all does tie into Bigfoot. This is all like a Bigfoot channel now, because the first time we started as a camp for a ceremony, but we knew we was going into Bigfoot territory, or occupied territory. That's our territory. It's not its. Um, but we were preparing a team to go on things to look for, attributes, habits, um, transparency, how to protect your mind, tracking skills, and things like that. Um, so she's been able. I mean, she's been keeping up. So we've asked her, to come onto the team, and be a part of this. And we want more people, because if we had a lot of people all trained the same way, you know, we wouldn't even need our, walkie talkies or anything. Not that we use them. The only time we would use a walkie talkie is while we're traveling so we could communicate with that car in front of us, or a phone or something. But uh, phones go out, walkie talkies. That's why we always, we've been needing to get CBs and things like that, just in case. So we have a backup on a backup on a backup is what we want. Um, okay, I'm gonna move on to the next. Okay, when you find people like me, or instructors of all these topics, I guess you say. I mean, you probably won't find too many. If you do, and I don't think you'll find maybe a handful of what we're sharing. To me, it's common knowledge because I've shared this knowledge with a lot of people around the world. So, and sharing with you. So I want this to be common knowledge for us all to know this. Um, but you also have to watch out for other instructors, because some instructors will use a student to gain knowledge, to gather knowledge, because that instructor does not know the beginning. That instructor does not know the story, the legend of time. And when you don't know that, you're only picking up what someone else has passed down to you, um, or you're guessing, you're mimicking. You're not even passing down. You're just kind of mimicking from afar of what you've seen. So be careful of that, because I think I'm going to read this part. It says, "The knowledge I share to everyone here, uh, this other person didn't. The other instructor, uh, or did so, but didn't begin with the beginning, so the student didn't have all the information like the group here does. And if you don't start from the beginning, and if you don't go back and get those segments, and you try to jump in, then a lot of things are not going to make sense. Just like this, for example, this would not make sense to anybody else, um, or they would have to really start googling real fast to try to get one hieroglyph, one symbol. But being here, this group knows that. Um, so when we go out into the field, we'll sit down, we'll talk about what's going to happen. Even if it's 5 minutes, we just, especially if you got an experienced group, you don't need to talk all day, because everybody knows what to do. Everybody knows how to act. Everybody knows not to be a disturbance. But this other instructor didn't do that with the student that he had. So this guy come back terrified, hearing voices, didn't know what they were, feeling those cold shivers, those that wind, was hearing uh, cracks of rocks. We all know what that is, but this student didn't know, and he came back terrified. I mean, and that's why it's different here. We go back. And like we were, talking when we first started, was I can't just tell you about the Bigfoot and give you one answer. We have to go all the way back before the beginning of time. We have to go back before the legend of time, and that's what we did. We started way back there. Uh, I may on one of these segments reread that whole story in one story, um because I keep all the notes and everything. But to reread that, maybe that'll help make sense of all this. And I know it's advanced, but the longer you stay with us, because we're going to go over these hieroglyphs behind me. We got the map of the universe over here. We're going to go over that. Every chance you get, you gain knowledge here. Um, Oh, the only thing that happened between me and the other instructor is that the other instructor made sure that his student did not give ground. And we didn't either. And our students, they didn't give ground. We have to hold our ground in these situations. Be prepared, but hold your ground no matter what. And like I was saying, neither one of us gave ground. Neither student gave ground. So that's what you have to do out there. And says the student who did not receive all the knowledge was less of a warrior and more of an ordinary person. So that student who didn't get all this information from the beginning was less of a warrior than the people here who are getting this information now. Because this is warrior training. This is how we teach warriors. This is how we teach in the tracking school. You get a whole month of just information like this. And here we're doing it hour and a half to 3 hours a night. But if you was at the tracking school, it's constant. There's so much information that we go over so that the warrior knows. Um, to be a warrior, you have to be a tracker first. You have to know everything a tracker knows to be a warrior, and then the warrior knows the spirituality and everything like that. So it's a combination to bring all of them together to be a warrior. um, the student of the other instructor was terrified and didn't know what to do and wanted to run at the first glance. Yes, that student also, he did want to run. He was petrified, terrified. Luckily, he didn't leave the circle, um, but I do know of that. But our students, one actually fell asleep though, but that was a bad thing too. He shouldn't have done that, so we had to send him home. But he did go through all that training before all that. Um, when this same encounter happened at Tracker School Camp, which I just talked about, we had already went over what to do, so there was no worries, but there was readiness. So whenever we encounter the same situation as we talked about that we would encounter or a certain situation, that's what we do. We go over situations because we've already been through these situations. And when we go over it with new warriors, that we give them those scenarios because we've already been through it. We already know the answer. Uh, so there is a difference in instructors. So make sure whoever you listen to knows what they're talking about. If they use those words, I believe, could be, maybe, should be, I think, probably is. Somebody told me. If they use any words like that, especially if they say, I don't know, or I'm guessing, anyone says any of those words around you, walk away from them. Uh, like we said, half information is a lie. If you don't know everything, if you don't know the truth, all the way back to the beginning, then uh, you will have misinformation. So that's what we're doing here. We're starting from the beginning to get up to that warriorness, to also get up to the Bigfoot. Like we said, we couldn't tell you with just one answer. Um, Now, the warrior training of the mind tonight is to know uh, you have to see your hands and arms or outlines, but there are no need to look for calves or feet. So when you're dreaming, and don't dream unless you have to dream, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But there are other instructors who will tell you to see your hands, to see your arms, and we used to teach like that because we had stronger people. But I was thinking for new people, we should only practice in our mind of the scenario of how to do something. Do not actually do it. And we will get to that reason in just a minute. But so watch out for instructors like that. You don't have to do that. But like I said, it's like um, learning how to swim before you get to the ocean. Learn before you get to a spiritual situation. And we're going to get to all that too. Okay, the next thing is know how to move in dreams or the spiritual worlds. that you set your intent to do just that. In dreams, you move by thinking, not by trying to walk like here in the physical world. So when you're in the spiritual world or a dream world, you use your mind to move. Don't think you're going to walk with your feet because you don't have feet. Try to look down. You will never see calves. You will never see feet, but you can see your arms, can see your hands. You can see the glow. Um, so you know you're there. But don't try to move like here in this physical world. Here in the physical world, we have the calves and we have the feet. Just like right here, 9 months cuts off right there at the calves and feet. We have to get those minerals from here, from Earth, from the umbilical cord of Earth. In the spiritual world, we don't have those. But when you're here, you have to get the minerals from here. So, you know what I'm saying? Um, so, if you think like physical, if you think like walking, you're not going to move. You're not going nowhere. You have to use your mind and intend to move from here to there. Intend to go fast. Intend to do what you're there to do. Intend first. Intent is everywhere. Um, and unsuspecting, slow, sluggish, uncontrollable, freshly returned energy is always sought and always monitored. So this has to do with impact, trauma, and mind contact. Also has to do with Bigfoots, being able to get into your mind, make contact, enter into your dream world with you, to be that predator, to drain you of energy, even in your dreams. People wake up tired all the time. Uh, the forced exposure of the energy body can also be caused by being hit between the shoulder blades, coughing too hard, quick speeds such as a drop, and the yellow lights that you see floating are worlds in movement. You're just able to see them when this happens because they slow down. You're impacted. Um, this also has to do with car wrecks, falls from high places. Anything that has an impact, your energy can move out of your body. Trauma. If the body has so much trauma, the energy body will come out until that trauma is um, able to be withstood, I guess you would say, and then the energy body will come back into that body. But, but, um, as in a trauma situation, just as dream travel, energy can be fed upon, captured, stored, contained. Just as here, but to know how to use your energy body for when energy is needed to not be captured, your stored spiritual power will aid you. All this information, all this knowledge that you're getting is spiritual knowledge, is spiritual power, the things that you didn't know. And that's why we said separate the self from the mind so we can fill the mind up. Don't think how this pertains to me. Don't let that self get in there. Don't let them use reasoning on you. Separate them for right now. When you get done with this, you will combine back to protect all of it. But at least yourself, your mind, your energy body, everything will start knowing each other. Um, like I said the other day, it's to train you to know how to swim before you get to the ocean, like to propel. And you talk by thinking. Think to propel. Think to shoot off. Think to move. Also think to talk. This is our telepathy. Here we're taught to use this, but we can still use our mind, our telepathy. Just know that you can and have the other person know that they can. So they don't block. Get them off those frequencies. Um, All the knowledge I have been sharing is warrior training to be used. Don't think that I'm just telling you these things to pass time or something. I'm telling you things, these techniques, situations, things to look for a reason so that you can use them when situations arise. You know what to do that fast. You know what to do. You're that one who knows what to do, because there are so many that don't know what to do and so many that will get others harmed or endangered. You have to know. This is for you. You have to know. So after this, close it back up, join them all back together, and then go see what everybody else is doing. And you'll see they're, wasting their energy on something. Um, Dream worlds are real as here. When you are in the dream worlds for information, as the warrior does, get there and get back, in and out. Staying too long can cause a person to drift. I said a person, not a warrior. As or just as when the team went to certain locations, we used the warrior techniques and moved in and out quickly. Did what we had to do and returned. Knowing you're in occupied areas, the warrior training is priceless. Um, this is why we share this, so that when you're out there, you will see this is a trap. That's a trap. Um, that means that you're in a hunting area. You'll see hunting lodges. You'll see places where, like we were talking about with Malcolm, you'll see where they hang their meat, hang their prey, hang their victims. Most of these places, there's a lot of missing people. The places that we've been going are clusters of missing people. We've been going to the heart of where these clusters have been happening, and we've been bringing back that information for you about the hunting lodges, the places where they're hanging meat, the stealthy camouflage little forts out there, the little bunker kind of things where multiple can hide, and along pathways and everything. Um, so, in the same thing with dreams, as a warrior, you go in and out in dreams. There's also a fog that is used here and in the dream worlds as traps. So when so in the, you got to remember the energy body. We're all connected. So what's connected here is also connected in the dream worlds. Like here, when you see fog and mist is not natural. Even though people are going to tell you that it's not natural, it's when heat is risen around the temperatures. Bigfoots can raise their temp. They can change temperatures. So when that fog is created, you're going to see it just all of a sudden. If you're out someplace, you're going to see it just starts in one spot. And then wherever they walk, if they're coming towards you, that fog is going to drift towards you. So be very observant about that. In dreams, the same thing can happen. There are like webs in dreams. They're yellowish or whitish. If you touch them, you can lose your memory of why you're in there. And that's a trap also. Don't hit white lines. Even when you're in a car, practice. Don't hit white lines. Don't pull up to that pressure plate. Stay behind that line. Don't hit any white lines. Train yourself right now in the physical to not hit white lines, yellowish lines. That will save a life. That will save yours and save your energy. Um, it says touching the fog that is yellowish and whitish will cause you to forget. Forgetting in a dream world, people can either be pulled, guided, or drift into an energy predator to be fed upon, some for eternity, such as impact, trauma, death, coma patients, or near death. Forgetting where you are in the dream trap worlds will cost you to be fed upon, like lights in the sky caught in a web. Because your energy will look a bright energy caught in that fog, caught in that web in the spiritual dream worlds makes you forget, but it also makes you forget that what's coming at you, that predator that's coming at you, It made you forget it's a predator. And that's also why we've been teaching and telling you to see things for what it is. Don't let your reasoning, uh, don't let your reasoning change it into something that it thinks that your mind can handle. Your mind can handle it. See it for what it is. Um, know your energy body is there to guide you in a good way and will protect you. But also, we are training the self to the mind and body. So when you're out, like we were talking about the other day, that if you feel like you need to go get a candy bar or something like maybe a Coke, and you might not even like Cokes, but you feel like you need to just go somewhere, go to the store. If you feel that way, go to the store, get up and go to the store. Don't question it. Yeah, that's your energy body saying something is going to happen here. We need to move, and we can come back later, but we need to move from this spot right now. Listen to that energy body. It will guide you. It will protect you. It will protect this physical body. It picks up on the things that we don't see, the transparency that is out there that we don't see. We'll get that shiver. We'll get that hair stand up. Let your body work for you. Just like the healing booklet. Let your body work for you. Let your body destroy these things for you. Give it what it needs, and it will do that for you. Just like the energy body will guide you. Let it guide you. Um, the self and the spiritual energy body now know each other, now know of each other. Truth has entered the reasoning. The reason you do not use your energy body unless needed, which is trauma to death, is there are energy predators. Remember, I said we'll get to this part in just a second about why you do not use your energy body unless you need to use your energy body, such as trauma, such as a coma, or such as death. But we need you to know how to use your energy body before then and how its abilities protects you and gives you powers, I guess you would say, as far as letting you know you have senses, you have feelings, we have those attributes. We can communicate telepathically. We can still do those things. We can still create energy. We can still create heat. We can still, we can still do all these things. Um, the reason you do not use your energy body unless needed, which is trauma to death, is there are energy predators. Some are spiders and some are disfigured predators and range from sizes. But there is the mother of the deceivers, and she runs all. And the mother of deceivers is in that story, Legend of Time. Um, the energy body is highly sought, but can be taken from one another. Deals can be made in the dream worlds. Also, escape back to here. When and impact trauma or dream travel happens, warriors know this too is a time to be on very high alert and to protect the physical body to not roam or float by not being able to control their energy body. So what I'm saying there is if you have an impact, if you have a trauma, know by these teachings to control your energy body. Know that if you do not use these teachings, you are going to float and you do not want to travel somewhere else. You stay with yourself. Um, when the energy body is exposed in the spiritual or dream worlds, energy predators do as the predators do here. They all move towards the prey of the energy food. So when that trauma happens, when that accident happens, that impact happens, your energy is exposed. In the dream world, in the energy world, that's highly sought after. Just like here, if you make a loud whoop, all the predators' ears are going to open up, they're going to look, and they're all coming. Bigfoots, wolves, coyotes, everything that's a predator is coming. That's the same thing that's going to happen. I mean, the same thing that happens whenever an energy body is exposed through trauma, or as people say, astral projection. Don't do that. Don't do anything like that unless you have to do it. Um, the yes, the spiritual energy body is the brightest call in the dream worlds. You shine. Your energy is so powerful. Um, Faith Walker says yes. Not too long, and so go. Oh, not too long ago, saw a blue-gray mist that stood out all that stood out from all the green. Yep. Um, yeah. When that happens, know that fog is not real. Mist is not real. I mean, the mist, but not that misty fog. You know, if you ever watched that movie Fog or The Mist, that's the same thing. It's the same thing. Um, ah, Now energy predators will try to capture your energy body to feed upon, and will also use the yellowish and whitish web to make an energy body forget its physical body. And this happens through trauma, um, coma patients, near death, that if they touch those foggy lines, they forgot that they just went into an accident or they forgot that they had a body. Now, other things are about to happen. Uh, there is a voice that will ask you to stay. And if you say yes, uh, you will be fed upon. And when you say no, your body that has been entered by an energy predator, because you drifted away from your body, and we're getting to all this too, but don't drift away from your body if you're still connected. If it's just a trauma or a coma, stay with yourself. Don't drift. Don't get distracted. And that's why we teach you all these things now. Don't get distracted. It's very important. We all know this. Um, Faithful Ladybug says, haven't seen that movie. Is the name The Mist? Yes, the name is called The Mist. And when you watch it, you'll know what we're talking about also. Um, uh, there's a voice that will ask you to stay, and if you say yes, you are fed upon. And when you say no, your body that has been entered by a energy predator will share that body unless destroyed with your electric shock or current of a body without deficiencies and low acidic levels. Spiritual body and the physical body both electrified. Um, if you say yes, you want to stay. If you've been in an accident and you forgot about your body, or if you drifted off and you say you want to stay in that dream world, it will ask you to stay. You will be fed upon. If you want to come back and say, no, I want to return, you will come back. But since you were gone, something else has got inside that body also. So through your diet of getting your body electrified, through this healing booklet to get your body electrified and energized, that's how you get things out of you. Nothing can live in there. Electrified, energized body. Um, Entered by the energy predator will share that body unless destroyed by your electric uh, shock and current. Okay, just went over that one. Remember the technique of stopping everything. Do this and return back. You knew how to block everything out so nothing cling to you, but train your energy body as your physical body to do as instructed by repetition. Just think of how to do things is practice. When sleeping, do just do not do it just for fun or to see if everything I said was true. Don't try to use your antibody for fun. Don't think it's a game. It's very powerful. You do expose yourself if you do that. Um, uh, but train your energy body by repetition. When all these things are trying to bombard your energy body in that dream world, it's the same technique. Block everything out. That forms a barrier. You can get back unscathed, I guess you would say. Your intent, set your intent before you go into a dream. If anything happens like that, my intent is to return. If anything happens like that. So that way, when something happens like that, boom, you're back. You're safe. Uh, Start over. Mm. A captured energy body that is through impact trauma or hitting a web in a dream world can be brought back by a ceremony of calling your energy body back to your physical body. So even if you may have left your body and maybe you're even sharing that body now, and you can still call your entire energy, because if you're sharing it, that means that door is still open and there's something else there. So what we need to do is separate, like the self or the mind, separate that predator from your body and use that ceremony to call your energy back. And once you feel that gust of wind, it's just like calling your name. Call yourself back. Know that you need your full energy back, because if it's happened through a trauma or even a coma or near death or something like that, the energy bodies will be held, but you will still be here too. You need to get fully back here. So that ceremony that you will have tobacco in your hand, and whenever you call yourself back, when you feel that gust of wind, you will throw that tobacco like a spray and say end or close. And a lot of people will, if you take a picture at the time, you'll see it kind of like almost wants to push through. Like you see those movies where it looks like someone's face is coming through a wall, stretching through. It's kind of like that. If you take a picture at that time, you'll see that. Um, Ladybug says the Mist can be watched free on YouTube. I believe so. It's an older movie, but I think it's a free movie, um, or even on Netflix, I believe. Um, Now, a body that has been invaded will only become a better being of that job they had before, and cannot do anything else unless trained as an apprentice. A basketball player will become an even better player. A mathematician will become an even better mathematician. But each could not do each other's work unless taught as a child again. Uh, Energy predators in a person's body will also be trying to capture energy here. So if someone does have an impact or a trauma and they don't make it back, but an energy predator takes over the functions of that body, it can't do anything else but become something better at what it's already been doing. Like we're saying, if it's a basketball player, it'll be a better basketball player. If it's a mathematician, it'll be a better mathematician. But they can't trade, because the body knows by repetition how to drive a car, even if you're daydreaming. That's the same principle of going what's going on here, except that energy predator that's inside that person has other ideas and reasons for being there, and we'll get to that. Um, Energy predators in a person's body will also be trying to capture energy here. Some just by sitting in another person's place as soon as they stand up, or even stand in the same place as another for the energy residue that's in that place. They will hire couples to split, to feed on each of the two's energies. They'll hire a couple just to feed off of both energies. They will ask you to drive their vehicles, sit in their chairs, and will line themselves up with the female or the male, depending on which, if it's a male or female, in a sexual position. They will always line themselves up that way. Mm. Uh, the same in dreams. Your desires, your wants, the familiarity of normality, and family, friends, uh, wealth. This the energy predators in the dreams will entice you with everything they can, to the shiniest, richest, everything that your heart's desire. If it's sexual, they'll be there. But they build the perfect trap for you, just like the Bigfoots. And we talked about that the other day. They will build the perfect trap for you. And if they have a group, which, I mean, 99% of them have groups. One's the cricket, one's the locust. The other ones are the sounds of the night. There'll be a group of coyotes over there when you know there shouldn't be with this many Bigfoots. There'll be a bird. There'll be a frog. They all have their own uh, parts to play to capture you, to feed on you, whether it's in dreams, energy bodies, or the physical bodies. They will lull you into confidence, lull you into a false security, and then that's when the attack happens. Um, in dreams, when you feel you are sluggish, feeling weighed down, can't move fast, or paralyzed, that is the energy body being fed upon by an energy predator. As in the physical, the predators will form the perfect trap for a spiritual, physical energy being. They will lull you into confidence. Remember to not dream unless you need to. And also, when you remember you are in a dream, stop everything and let your energy body return as trained to do. Intent is everywhere, so you can use it anywhere. Intent is everywhere. Also, acknowledge the guidance and gifts. When you come out of a dream, acknowledge that, your energy body for doing what it was supposed to do, yourself for letting your energy body do it, do what it needed to do to guide it back. Um, don't let yourself, and your energy body contradict each other. That's what we're doing. We're separating them right now so that they get back on the same page, so that yourself is on the same page as the mind and the body. Um, let's see. Now, in thought, practice all this, but do not do it in dreams. But if needed, you will know how to do this. You will know how to use your energy body if you need to use it. If you have to have it, like I said, don't use it unless you know. It's like, again, learn how to swim before you get to the ocean. Don't use it unless you have to use it. Think of how you would raise from your body, knowing of the impact, trauma, or the near death or coma. Do not leave your body. Protect it and the open portal. If you leave your body or drift because you do not know how to control your energy body, your physical body can be invaded. And that's what we was talking about. And like that is correct of what they're called. They're called demons, they're called devils, they're called whatever name you want to put on them. They are energy predators that feed off of you. So whatever name you want to put on them, that's a correct name. Um, if you are captured, have your body call you back. Call your energy back. It's called an distraction. So, if you feel like you're caught or sluggish or dreaming that you're being weighed down, call yourself back and with that intent, you'll zip back. No predator can hold on to that energy if you know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, you're going to drift, you're going to be sluggish, you're going to be fed upon. Know how to use your energy body. Think. Use your intent in dreams. Think to move. You don't move as a physical body here. As soon as your energy body returns by the gust of wind, close the door. Use tobacco and throw it in the direction of the wind. Say end or close. And that's what we just talked about just a minute ago. When you call your energy body back and you feel that gust of wind, because it will come back fast, you'll feel that wind. That's when you throw the tobacco, say stop or end. Close that door because that energy pressure that was feeding on you is chasing that line, is following that path a lot. It's trying to get to that door before it closes. So close it before it gets there. Um, and think of it as a predator moving towards a small door that you just went through, and it's coming. Close that door. Don't let it come through. Um, and this has to be done immediately. Just as when each, just as when we end each night, before you see another person or leave, or close your eyes and tell yourself to store the knowledge. Then open your eyes to where you are at. So before, right when we're ending, before you talk to anybody, before you go get a cup of coffee, before you eat, before you make a phone call, before you share this video with your friends, uh, close your eyes and tell yourself, store this energy, store it, and then tell your mind and yourself to come back together, and then open your eyes. Then you stored everything that we went over. Even you might not even think about it, but you stored it. You put it in there. And that's also storing spiritual power for some things like this. Because you want to be strong when you go into dreams or spiritual warfare. Um, as in death, everything dissolves around us. This world dissolves to the reality of the spiritual truth and energy. Just as dreams are when people begin to dream, this dream world dissolves into the dream world. So the world that we know now, whenever we start to dream, this one disappears, this one dissolves. We go into another world. There is a separation. Remember that there's separation. When we wake up, we're here. When we're dreaming, we're there. Um, when you open your eyes, you are here. But when you are in an are in an impact or trauma, dream, death, you are there. You are in the spiritual or the dream world when a trauma happens. Uh, I want you to understand this. You become the spiritual energy body. You become the dream. That's very important to know. You become the dream. You become that spiritual energy body. You become the awareness of everything. Now you see your body. Now you're out of your body. Stay with it. Um, Practice all the techniques. Run them through your head, and that too is warrior training. This is what we do repetition. Every day we're going over things through repetition because I want everyone who's going to be a tracker to know everything, to be effective, to be safe out there, to know everything. You have to be very efficient. And so we do it repetition, day and night, guard duty, day and night. Um, okay, so here's the part. So now I want to invite Malcolm and Damon to the live stream tonight for the update. They have been keeping up with, and we will have a discussion as a group afterwards. So, Damon, are you here tonight? I sent you an email, but I don't see that you connected on. And if not, we're going to skip that part for tonight, and I will get with Damon because it is some very important information for this group. Everybody needs to know of this last missing persons case that just happened at Keystone. And If you've been with this channel, you know what's going on. But I wanted Damon, because he was the one that we asked to keep us updated on this. I want him to explain to us and tell us the update. And then Malcolm also has some information. And if possible, we may be able to get someone uh, who is like an eyewitness to this for you. So this channel is really important. We went over things that happen in dreams, how to use your energy body, how to protect yourself, what to look for, that there are predators out there. Dreaming is not a game, it's not there to be joked with. Uh, there are realities. Uh, we also put this test question up, and I'm very happy to say that people did get this answer right. I mean that just makes me really happy. Um, well, this whole day, everything's just been great. Everything has been. I've made contact with Katie, another person. Her name's Angel. Um, she's talking about doing some tracking up in the area. She knows there's Bigfoot, or she wants to make sure, because before she does another project, she wants to make sure and do some tracking and things. I'm not sure how that would work out, but I do want to thank them for thinking of us to come and do this for them. And you never know. We may be able to do that and do a live stream of tracking up there. Faith Walker, you're still on call. As soon as we know, we'll contact you through Messenger. I don't see Damon coming on, or I don't see any contact. So we're gonna save that for tomorrow night. Um, that was tonight, Katie. That's what I was talking about. When I didn't know that you was going to be here tonight, Katie. I'm glad you're here. But I was going to get all this information and send you this link tonight. But Damon's not here tonight to get that information. But I'm glad you are. That way, I can tell you that that link won't be up tonight with that information. Hopefully, we can get Damon here tomorrow, or Malcolm, to update us on that, because I don't want to give any false information. But they have been keeping an eye on this, and they do have important information for you and for like new viewers. Um, Faith Walker says, "Okay, sounds good. Okay, great, great. I'm glad you're still here and keeping up again, like you always have. I don't have any doubts about you. Um, but that is all that we was going to talk tonight about, as far as um, dreams and mind. And then I also wanted to finish up this with the Fibonacci sequence. I'm glad we finished that up. I'm glad this group understands that, and you know all the symbols. So tomorrow night we're hoping to get. I want to say I'll get that film up, but I don't want to promise, because there is so much in this video that needs to be put on there. Plus, I got to put the thermals on there. Plus, the regular pictures. Plus, the voice. So we're gonna. It looks like it's going to turn into like a small kind of DVD that we could put on YouTube. So everybody can read it, or I mean, so everybody can watch it. And I'm sure we'll. I mean, we'll have that up, and I want to say by Monday for sure. But I'm going to shoot for as quickly as I can for that, because people do need to see that and have all that information. And so we'll get that video up. And if we do, I do want the team to discuss that also. We kind of give you updates and the updates of what's going on right now. Katie says, okay, sorry, whenever you're ready. And thank you so much for this show. Thank you, Katie, and everyone here, really, because we're getting to share this information, and people are getting to learn all this, and it's just, for me, that's great. Now we can get serious about everything, because once we all know, we all know. Nobody can be fooled. Um, Katie says, please send me anything you can, and the rest I'll just wait for. Okay, Katie, I'll see what I could do. I got some prior things, and then I always try to get ready for the next day, and that's why I said as soon as I can, I will get those links to you. Um, on one, well, I don't know. They all have information that you need. So I would just start back and get as many as you can in. Faith Walker says, "Take your time, laugh out loud. I can't join tomorrow night. You won't be here tomorrow night, or you can't join in the talks tomorrow. And I think I have your email, but if you can, please send me your email um, to my messenger, so I can also add you whenever we do have the group together or the team together, because you're part of that now. So, and Katie, as soon as you can get here, let me know quickly as you can. Let me know, and we'll get everybody together and we'll go on that outing and show you and get you knowing what we know, and hopefully, if you can get here as quickly as possible, and we can get Faith Walker also together at the same time, this will be a great group to go out, and I know we'll do great. And she said, "No, sir, not on the 11th." Okay, okay. Thank you, Faith Walker. Ladybug says, "How long have you been teaching on YouTube?" For me, I know how much I have missed. For me, I know how much I have missed. Um, with these streams, they only go back 10 days. So I would have to say there's only 10 days worth of knowledge on YouTube right now, because it deletes one segment after 10 days. So that's all I can say, is that I've been teaching this as far as 10 segments back. That's all they'll let me. And Katie says, I will. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Katie. As soon as you can get here, Faith Walker, she's ready to go. Um, we're shooting for a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday camp to do this. And the team already knows how we set up the camps, what we're going to do there. So when you get there, we'll just, sit down, we'll have our talks, um, have something to eat, um, get to know each other, go over our plan, our strategy, and then when it's time, we'll move out, go to that spot, and get back, and we'll go on like that. But yes, as soon as you can get here, we're ready to go. Um, Faith Walker, she's going to be part of that. She's ready to go, and we'll just all coordinate. Not for this week for sure, like not for this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but the earliest is the one following that following Monday. So that's in about 2 weeks, and I'll get with Damon and Malcolm, because I don't see them on here tonight. But I do know Malcolm is on listening, but I will share that information with him also. And I will update tomorrow in the announcements as well. Okay, everybody, I had a great night. I want to, Ladybug says, how long have you been teaching on here, though? When did you begin? Like on this live stream, I would say 20 something days. But if you go to my other channel, which is called Lead Horse Choctaw, LeadHorse, Choctaw, all in one, you'll see that it goes back years and years and years. I would say 2006, somewhere around there. I've been teaching, and going traveling and gaining this information and bringing it all back. And and when did I begin? I was born in a medicine family. My family's always been medicine people. We're known as medicine people. Our families were always visited by people coming by for roots and herbs and medicines, to heal themselves and things. So that's pretty much where I started with the roots and the berries and the teachings of from my parents and family members. And my mom was in the same training. My uncle, my grandpa was in the same training. So it's kind of passed down through generations. We're all seers. We see things that other people don't, and that's why we share all this information because some of the information that we have, other people don't have. So I'm just here sharing all this knowledge so that you are able to see, know, and be the experts that so many people say we're not out here, but we are. Um, Ladybug says, "I don't know. I didn't know you had another channel. Can you write it or put up the link? I mean, uh, yeah, but it's an old one. But it's a now that one is Lead Horse Choctaw. You'll find that on Facebook. It's a. I got locked out of that one, so I had to make another one. But you'll see some past deeds that we've done, some past journeys that I work with the youth, or I don't so much right now because of this COVID and that we're um, in transition, I guess you would say. I've taught at universities. I've wrote books. I've taught astrology, cosmology, Fibonacci, uh, the Aztec sunstones, hieroglyphs. Um, but I've been turned down by my own tribe. Uh, they told me I was overqualified for the job to teach. So take that as it is. I was also turned down for the archaeological tech job from my tribe, which is just paperwork. Whenever I could have, taught them how to decipher what they mean, what the message is. I was also turned down for that job. I've turned down millions of dollars um, for not shutting my mouth or for not stepping out of the way, blocking things. I was offered millions of dollars, which I turned down um, because I wouldn't, you know, stab anybody in the back. None of my people, I wouldn't do that. So uh, I've also been told to get a job, so um, which they won't hire me for the job I'm qualified for, but they will hire me to clean dumpsters. And this is what they did last time: was dumpsters, clean bathrooms, take out the trash. So those are the jobs that the tribe offers me instead of teaching our generations everything that they need to know. But that is my other link or Facebook page. I haven't been on there in forever, but you'll see all these things. You'll see more things, more teachings, more diagrams, because I've been teaching this for a long time. I used to give 4-day camps, but those were too short, so I started to decided to do a month camp, but use it as a tracking school camp also, so that we're taught everything, not just the mental, but also the physical, the spiritual. Ladybug says, "Sounds like corruption in the tribe." Yes, we have lots of corruption in our tribe, um, uh, and I've always been a thorn or a stickler in their side because I keep them accountable, but they don't like that. So, uh, universe is more like arrogance. Yes, yes, they'll never let me teach my people what they need to know. They're happy with keeping them right where they are. Uh, Instead of being the greatest nation, they'd rather keep them a controllable nation. Uh, Faith Walker says, "You are a great teacher." Thank you, Faith Walker. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and we just actually got the opportunity with the help with Cliff and Faith Walker and MSA. We've been able to get these streams up and to everybody, and that's something great that we could do that we all um, are able to help. Like when we had the stream, it was just about to go off, and I said it's like, and it was $25, but I said it's like 17. I didn't know, but Cliff he sent some money and SMA. and Faith Walker to help us with the trip with gas and food and to pay for the campsite. And that's when I knew that she was one of those who was really paying attention. And I appreciate that, Faith Walker also, and Cliff and MSA. But I haven't seen MSA in a couple of days. I hope she's okay. She was moving and having internet problems, so I'm so happy to see the new people. Uh, but I do recommend that you go back a couple or try to binge and try to do as many streams as you can to get kind of caught up more to where we're at now. Because, like I said, whenever we when we talk about things like this, I want you to be able to decipher everything. And we're going to go over like the Aztec sunstone. I'm going to teach you how to decipher that. So when you won't be fooled. They'll want things are set up the way they're set up is to gain, or to get energy or to control people. You'll see all these things. You'll see there's so much. And if you do go to the other page, there is other information, other knowledges, which we will get to. But that was more of the advanced. Right now, we're starting. Actually, this is the more advanced class, to tell you the truth, because we started from the beginning. That the other page is more like sporadic, I guess you would say, just kind of here and there. But this, I would say, this is the more advanced. This is the highest level advanced class that we can give, um, and that you're getting it. You're getting it right now too, and that's great. That's whenever people were, I was just asking what is this? What if you've seen these symbols somewhere, what is it? And when people said Fibonacci sequence, the legend of time, um, those that's what makes me happy, knowing that you are able to see these hieroglyphs, able to make out these symbols. You know what they are, you know what they mean, so that when you see them somewhere else, you're gonna say, I know exactly what that means. I know exactly what that is. And we're gonna get into some more symbols, signs, locations, numbers, alphabetic numbers, what they mean, how to use them, so that when you walk into places, even the most popular places, you're going to look around differently. You're going to know um, things are not the way they should be. Um, Universe says, "Forgotten the ways for many." Yeah, but we're bringing it back strong. I mean, with this whole group right here, there's so many of y'all that know all this information now that it's not just me, or it's not just and there are some other people who have this information that I've taught in other like 4-day camps and things, but they have not gotten as much as you have uh, with like the spiritual travel, the mind, the warrior training, and things like that, the tracking. So everyone here is getting more than anybody else. And there's not one channel that you can go to who will tell you all these things that we surely free to you, or surely or freely share to you. Kathy says, I am sorry you're not appreciated. I am appreciated by a lot of people, just not with, the corporation people. I have, everyone here knows me. I was, pretty much, I mean, I was, what they say, born and raised here. But I've just returned home, and people still remember me. I was really good at sports and things, and I set some records and some state records and things like that before I went traveling. Went to the military, and then I did some, things for different tribes. I've even read hieroglyphic inscriptions for other tribes that they didn't want other people to know of, so they reburied those inscriptions for a later date. That's what they did. That's not what I do. I teach the truth, and everything you learn from here is the truth. Um, let's see. Katie says you're appreciated in here. Well, thank you, Katie. Uh, I do like seeing the regular people and the new people, uh, and I do feel appreciated whenever I ask a question and somebody like, boom, I got that answer. Or if, like tonight, when someone else asks the question, the people who have been here, they can answer those questions. You couldn't go to another Bigfoot channel, ask these same questions, and they they couldn't give you the answer. How does the Fibonacci sequence tie in with the Bigfoot? How does plasma scaling fit in with the Bigfoot? How does the legend of time, the story, how does before time began fit in? How does, um, everyone here gets more information than anybody in the world, I would say. There are people who have this information, but it's not information that is supposed to be given out. Um, but I do appreciate everybody. I'm going to go ahead and close for tonight. I will be back tomorrow night at 9:30. Hopefully, we'll have that film, and hopefully, we'll have Malcolm and Damon tomorrow night to give us an update. That's the big thing I want to focus on tomorrow. I want them to come and tell us what's going on. Um, Ladybug says my memory is a bit slow. Memory on the computer, or but learning all this right now, your memory will enhance because now it's got things to look at, to work with. So we are going to close tonight. Pull that self, pull that mind back together, pull that body back together, pull that energy body back together, pull them all back together, get them all back together. Before you do anything, as soon as we close your eyes, pull everything back together, come back as one. But each one of them was taught. Each, the mind, the self, the reasoning, the body, everything was taught because we separate them and we put it into the mind. We let the self take a break. New information, now bring them all back together. Now they can share that information. Now they know of each other. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. But remember, close your eyes, store that energy. That's your energy. So that's my knowledge. I'm sorry. That's my knowledge. You're the only one who got this. That's your knowledge. You can teach. You can help others. But this belongs to you. You are storing spiritual knowledge, spiritual power. So, and you will need it. We all need it. Don't expend your energy on anything useless. Um, I want to take this last one. I don't know what it is, but it's from Universe. Lion's mane extract. Uh, Fungi perfecta dot con. Ladybug has amazing memory, boost proven, and in Japan. But also, if you do your healing, your own healing, you will correct your deficiencies. You will correct your acidic levels. You will become energized. You will become electrified. Your memory will reverse. You will be getting memory. You will get in the memories, minerals, the minerals for the memory. You will get those. You will not be forgetfulness. You will become more attainable to knowledge. Your memory will open and gain it and keep it for you. Get on those minerals. Get on those plants, water, air. It's all the umbilical from Earth to you, to us, for us to heal, to stay healthy, and you won't get sick if you follow that healing booklet. Um, so I'm going to close tonight. Remember, everybody, pull yourself back together before you go and see anything or do anything. Talk to anybody else. Store your knowledge. That's yours. I'm just helping you to remember all this. We will go further. Like I said, we've got a lot to cover. Uh, Also, like I was talking about, I'm trying to keep it to an hour and a half now. But I could talk 5 hours a night if we had to. But I want to make sure we do step by step so that everybody attains and retains everything, and then we advance. Just like this, we advance. We advance together. So, um, if you can, if this is the first time viewing, or if you've only caught a couple views, go back, watch a couple segments, at least those 10 that are still allowed to be up. Catch up to where we're at. We're going to move forward again tomorrow. We're going step by step, a little further every time. I want everyone to be the best experts in the world. Thank y'all. Good night to everybody. I had a great time. Remember to close yourself, store your energy. As soon as this goes off, Don't talk to anybody. Don't do anything else until you store your energy for you. That's you. That's your knowledge. That's your energy. Um, Ladybug says, I would like to know more of your history and learning path. Oh, actually, we could probably do a night like that. Maybe in about 2 nights. Maybe about 2 nights from now. We'll do a get to know me kind of night. So you can ask any kind of question, within reason, Um, but I think in 2 nights we can do that. We can do a get to know me kind of night, and we can just sit here and talk about different things that we may have questions. Unless those questions, only the questions up till now that you might have a question about. Not a question about frequencies. Not a question about um, hieroglyphs that we haven't went over. Uh, we're going to get to the Voynich manuscript, um, which if anyone wants to look that up, see how many people deciphered that. But we here will decipher that. So, Kathy says, thanks so much, Jerry, and good night. Yes, everyone have a great night. Sleep well. Do not dream. Practice not dreaming. That's a form of protection for you. Um, we did teach you how to go to sleep. The other night, find that dot, go into it, but do not dream. When you feel yourself dreaming, get back. Set your intent before you go to sleep. If I start dreaming, come back. Set that intent. If I start dreaming, wake up. Do that. Practice that. You will need that. Um, and we will get to all that. We're going step by step. Um, Ladybug says spell, spell, spell. Okay. Okay, so everybody have a good night. Close yourself up. Bring yourself together. Store your knowledge. That's your store it. And I will see you tomorrow night at 9:30. And hopefully we'll have everybody here for those videos and the updates. I'm going to really go over that with everybody tomorrow so that you hear firsthand experience and the updates. It's very important for if you're going out camping, hiking, or places like that, all the things that we've talked about, we're going to have to hear why these people, we actually know why these people were in the situation that they are in is because they're not learning from this channel. And we need more people to do that. Oh, okay. Let me write this real fast for Katie. Okay, so everybody, no more questions, please. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to. Oh, oh, oh. I'm sorry. That's the yeah. That's the Voynich manuscript. If anybody wants to look that up, nobody's deciphered it, but you already know how to decipher it just by the stories that we've been going over. Fibonacci sequence. You also know how to decipher the COVID-19 virus configuration just by knowing that story and the Fibonacci sequence. So you and we're getting to a lot of the. So don't have any questions because we are going to get to the answers. You're going to get the answers just by listening. So thank you, everyone. Store your knowledge, store your power, and I will see you tomorrow night. And I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. And I will see you again 9:30 Central Time Zone tomorrow night, Saturday. So everybody have a great night. I enjoyed it.